Welcome back to my channel again, guys. Let's continue our configuration on the Imagical server side. And I will do the configuration of high availability on my both server, which is very important because a single server is always a single point of failure. And it has been seen that when you have a single point of failure, you always face a problem. So just to avoid the problem, it's better to make at least two servers in the Imagical server as a high availability setup, or you can go with three server as well, but minimum two should be required. Okay, so let's continue our configuration of high availability, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. So my both screens are visible in front of you. So just let you know that this is the main dashboard. If I click over here on the admin side, okay, on both sides I will do for the admin, and you will see over here, this is all information related with the iMagical server configuration. So in the second law, you will see high availability. Let me make it here as well. So I will just go with the click on the high availability on both sides. And if you see over here, I have high availability cluster on the left side and high availability cluster on the right side. So first I will create the primary cluster on my main server. So I will click on the new cluster. If you have already cluster available, you will select this add to existing cluster. This option I will select on my secondary side. Okay. So let me create a new cluster here. Next, choose this node, my existing node. Okay, it is also available with IPv6 availability. So I will go with only IPv4. And if you have a shared database, your external database, then you will select your second option. Since I have my built-in database, so I will select my first option, make it next, and finally a new cluster is going to be created. And just is giving you information about the cluster. I will just make it proceed and let it create it first. So let the first cluster to be built. Then I will do my configuration on my secondary as add to existing cluster. Okay. So guys, finally, cluster creation is completed. And it said the cluster containing the local node has been successfully created. To add more node, follow the steps described in the iMagical guide. Okay. So normally when it created a cluster, it take a little bit extra time. So don't be panic. Maybe it will take 5 minutes or maybe more, but finally it is created. Another thing, while creation of the cluster, your backend services related with your application will continue working. Okay, it will not be suspended. Only the high availability service will be disabled. Okay, so it is done now. So same thing I will do on the other side. Let me close from this side, and you see the database synchronization strategy is replicated already. This is my local node. This is the IP address, and the replication service is started. To create a cluster on the other side or to add to existing cluster, this service should be running. It should be started. If it is stopped, I cannot create a cluster on the other side. Okay. So now I will go on this side. Next, node, choose the node IP address which will be used by the other side, other clusters node to communicate with. Okay, this is 161. And here I will put the IP for my other side. Okay, this 160. So I'll make it next. Again, this node is going to join the specific cluster. This current configuration will be lost and replicated with the one on the other cluster. Okay, because when it will join the cluster, the configuration, it will take from my primary iMagical server. This is what it's saying, right? Okay. So I'll make it proceed. What other it's saying, the procedure is going to be stop all application on this node. Yes. On this node, application will be stopped because it have to sync with the primary iMagical server. Please ensure that at least one node in the cluster remains reachable through the whole operation. Okay. So nothing, just the guideline. So I'll make it proceed. And the joining process for the cluster is started now. Now downloading configuration from the cluster. This operation may take a long time. So what it's saying exactly, it's taking the configuration from my primary cluster, primary server. Okay. Okay, guys, let's see what happened. Imagical replication service is down. So I told you what happened exactly. Let me check over here. I think I have to log out and log in back. So guys, finally replication is done and cluster is created now. You have seen that we face a little problem in creating a cluster, in joining a cluster on the secondary node. And this is a normal behavior. It's happened sometime. Okay, so don't be panic if you face this problem. Just make sure you have a reachability between your primary and between your secondary server. Number one. Second thing, your replication service should be started on your primary one. Okay, should not be stopped. So we have done it. I will do one thing. I will just refresh my page. Okay. Now this information is updated as well on the primary server. I will log in the secondary one. Okay, so you have seen now that both servers are synced and information is available as a local node. Here it is a local, here it is as a local, and it joined with each other. So my cluster is created. So we have done our lab for the high availability. Another thing, I will just share the link for the iMagical website for the configuration for the cluster and some other details. This link is available in my video description. Okay, and you can see more details about the cluster. This information is available on the iMagical website. Okay, so I will share the link how to create a cluster, and there is some other details as well. So guys, we have done our lab for today as well for the high availability. In my third episode, I will explore some other information for the iMagical related with LDAP, related with the email configuration. We will do the registration of the licenses as well. Okay, and I will show you one thing finally for the monitoring for this cluster, which is also important. I'll just click on the monitoring. Same thing I will do here. Okay. You can see this is the giving about the health check of the cluster. That cluster synchronization is available. Okay, as a green, you can see I can refresh from here. Other than this one, you can see local node is this one. Same thing for this one. So I believe everything is fine. If it is not fine, it will be show as a red color. Okay, system monitoring is also working fine. Disk usage. So I hope there is nothing is abnormal. Everything is fine. So guys, we have done our lab for today for the high availability. In my third episode, I will explore the other options, and finally we do the configuration on the iMagical side, and then we will move the configuration on the call manager side. Okay, so keep watching, stay tuned, and we'll back shortly.